Tons of people have been talking about Star Wars Outlaws since the latest trailer's release, but unfortunately for Ubisoft, it's not all rainbows and sunshine because people are very skeptical of Ubisoft games since they love to shove tons of microtransactions into mediocre products. People are not very pleased with the character models they decided to go with, and now the Star Wars Outlaws lead writer has actually decided to hide on social media as the story trailer is getting massively ratioed. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, when they initially announced this game, people were very skeptical because it's Ubisoft. They have put out some very bad games over the past few years. Most recently, they put out Skull and Bones, which they said gamers should be pleased with, and that they should be grateful it wasn't more than $70, and of course that was a massive commercial failure for them. But now we've got Star Wars Outlaws being talked about. They finally put out the release date, and things are not going as positively as they probably hoped for. And instead of acknowledging the criticisms that people have, we of course see another creator on this game, the lead writer, deciding to hide on social media because they do not want to listen to the backlash and the criticisms. This is a That Park Place article. It says Star Wars Outlaws lead writer, the Maven of Filth, Nikki Foy, locked down her social media account on X and password protected her website as the game's newly released story trailer was lampooned. Now, obviously, when you're being hired by a massive company, you probably are expecting everybody to support your game because Ubisoft is a relatively, of course, giant company within the industry. I mean, they are one of the top 3 largest gaming companies in Europe, so she probably expected there to be so many Ubisoft fans out there that no matter what would happen, they would be defended, and that's just not the case anymore. Consumers are becoming more educated, and of course, there are tons of people within the industry, the creatives themselves, and also the executives that absolutely hate that. They fear an educated consumer the most, and that is exactly what is happening with, talk about Gamergate 2 and the direction the industry is going in. And now that they have released their first official story trailer, it has received a ton of negative reaction, and this is clearly why she decided to go ahead and hide. Now, I believe that if you are creating a product on social media, you should be leaving your accounts public, right? You shouldn't be able to protect your accounts and hide behind a block because ultimately you are a public figure and you decided to make this social media for yourself to talk about your opinions and of course to promote your products. And if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. You should not be on social media in totality if you cannot take people criticizing you or your takes or your products. But we've seen this become very normal now, especially since Gamergate 2 really started being talked about. Many narrative consultants have been hiding behind protected accounts. Of course, a lot of their followers do not like them, given they will, screenshot the things that they're saying behind the protected account and then put them publicly. That has not happened here, at least yet. She has not said anything controversial, but it's very clear with the timing why she decided to lock her account and why she is deciding not to, really listen to the criticisms and not really have conversations with the very people she needs to buy her game. And this is a major issue we see time and time again. You need to be communicating with your audience and you need to try to understand what we do not like in order to, make better products in the future, but that's just not happening here. As you can see going on over to YouTube, the trailer is currently sitting at 1.4 million views, number 18 on trending, so it is definitely falling quickly, but as you can see, it is at a 31,000 like number to 73,000 dislikes. So the dislikes are skyrocketing while the likes are not really moving that much at all. And this does not bode well for Ubisoft and the team behind this project. And it's not even just, their creatives hiding. It's so many different things that have been talked about over the past few days that people are not happy with surrounding this game. Of course, one of the major ones is the pricing of the game. Of course, the base version is going to be $70, and many games have like $100 editions, whether it is, deluxe editions, gold editions, whatever they want to call them. But the difference in the editions for this game between the $109 version and the $130 version is pretty mind boggling, because with the gold edition, which is, relatively standard for games. It has the base game, it has the season pass and the pre-order bonus, but it doesn't include a array of things that usually a $100 edition would, like a digital art book and, the digital soundtrack, but those are actually put into the Ultimate Edition, and you do also get like pre-order bonuses for that and the Infiltrator character pack, but $130 for a version of a game is very steep. Do I think that this is the worst price tag ever? Absolutely not. But when you have a game that people are already criticizing, where the graphics look okay, but a lot of the design choices that they made, like with Kay Vest, the lead female character, and the way that they butchered her model compared to the actual face model, that is just not, worthy of a $130 price tag. And then, of course, now you have lead writers hiding on social media, and to top it off, we have social media analysts accusing Lucasfilm and Disney of using bots to promote Ubisoft's upcoming Star Wars Outlaws game. And this isn't very surprising either. These companies are always desperate to get as many people talking about their games, and if that happens to be through bots, I can't say I'm all that surprised, because even if it's a bot account, it is still, one like or one comment under a hashtag, and that means that the hashtag could go on to trending, and that right there is a lot of eyes on the content that you're creating. And Master of the TDS, who I've referenced many, many times, is someone I definitely, appreciate, who is doing a lot of work like this, putting all of these screenshots together, compiling a lot of information together, and he had posted this. Ubisoft has teased a new story trailer. Of course, that already dropped. It is not going well for them, but the game is said to be, in a gritty underworld setting. However, it would seem Disney and Lucasfilm might not be too confident in the game, as the bots are once again out in force, running interference for the game. This started roughly a day or two before the trailer released. Now that the trailer has released, it seems to also be going on. A lot of these accounts are still actively making posts, and there have been many other posts like it. So it definitely does not seem that they are afraid at this point of people calling them out on their botting BS. Not that they ever really have listened to us or they really care about what our opinion is, but of course, to the average consumer, this makes them look even crappier, but they just don't seem to care. None of the people affiliated with this project seem to really care about what the fan response is, which is so unfortunate, because I sit here and I criticize video games, movies, TV shows, not because I want them to stay bad. I would love for the entertainment and the gaming industries to do a complete 180, start making amazing content all of the time again, and I would love as a consumer to have confidence in the products I am buying, but that is just not the reality we are currently living in. You have to do research in order to buy a game to make sure, that there are not political narratives shoved into it, and of course, who is helping create the game, if there are narrative consultation companies who, co-developed a game with a lot of companies, especially on a game like this. And it's just so sad to see the state of the industry, and also to see how little these people, the creators of these projects, actually respect us. I mean, by locking your social media, by protecting your website, by making it so that no one can communicate directly with you or tell you what they dislike or even like about your product just doesn't bode well. And it really seems like they have a lot to hide. At this point, they are not happy that people are calling out the bots. They are not happy that the trailer is being negatively ratioed. They are not happy that so many people are calling out the price tag on the, several different editions they are offering for this game. And overall, they just do not want people to criticize their product, which of course is absurd. When you are posting something, when you are expecting people to buy something, yes, you should be up and willing for criticism, and that really just isn't the case anymore, especially with companies say like Ubisoft and creatives like this. It will be interesting over the next few days and weeks to see if any of these, lead writers or producers end up coming out and making any statements, if Ubisoft says anything, or if even, on YouTube on the official trailer, if they decide to lock down the comments or lock down the likes and dislikes. Only time will tell. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.